I'm Jamie. I'm a third-year medical school student. So a couple weeks ago, I asked you guys on Snapchat to send me video questions for a Q&A session. And a lot of you guys asked me for tips or general hacks on how to be more productive. I didn't get to answer during the Q&A video, but I thought I would share my productivity tips and tricks in this video. My first tip might be a little weird, but it's to track your time and see what you need to cut out. I got this idea from dieting. When going on a diet or attempting to eat healthy, it's often advised that you track meals and the food that you eat normally on a day or even a week to see what you can cut out. When I did this the first time, I was really surprised by the amount of junk food that I was eating. It kind of opened my eyes and made me aware of how unhealthy my eating habits were. So some of the same concepts transfer over when it comes to productivity. You can keep a log of how you spent your day and see what you can cut out or work on. And just like tracking your meals, it can give you an overall picture of what you're spending your time on. So for example, by tracking your time, you see that you have a free hour or hour and a half between lectures. You can spend that time working out or going over some of your coursework, and by doing so, you've freed up some of the time later in the day to do other things. My second tip is planning. You might already have a system in place of how you like to plan and organize your day, but if you're new to the whole planner thing, a really simple way to get started is writing down everything you need to do and then deciding how much time you want to dedicate to each task. That way you know approximately how much time you'll dedicate to school, homework, working out, and etc. Make sure you plan in appropriate breaks and some fun times too. The key is to be realistic as possible so you can actually stick to your plans. Tip number 3, create an environment where you can do work. The best place to get work done is somewhere where distraction is limited. One example of creating a good workspace is keeping a neat work area. It might be different for everyone, but for me, having a neat and tidy desk helps me focus more and helps me concentrate on the task at hand. So I would consider making it a habit to always having a clean and neat desk. Another example of creating a good working environment is the location. If you don't like studying at home, or if home has too many distractions, you can head out to a library or a coffee shop. You can invite a friend who also needs to study so that you can both keep each other accountable. The most important thing in all these productivity tips is knowing yourself and your tendencies. Sometimes if I have a really long day, I know that I'm not going to want to do anything once I get home. So on days like that, I know it's better for me to stay at school or the hospital to get my work done rather than coming home and losing that momentum. The next tip is don't let your devices rule over you. Sometimes even if you find the places that are quiet, the tools we use to study can lead us to distraction. For example, on the computer you have your Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, everything is a click away, and you have your smartphones which we carry with us all the time. So a couple solutions for your computer and smartphone. One for the computer, there are apps like Self-Control for Mac where you can blacklist the websites that you want to avoid for a certain amount of time. Or you can do it the other way you can list a website that you can whitelist, meaning you'll only have access to those websites during that allotted time. For smartphone solutions, one would be to deactivate your social media for the weeks or days leading up to deadlines or exams. Actually, this is pretty common, even pro athletes do it. LeBron James does it every year during playoffs. Another smartphone solution is you can turn it off or leave it in the other room. If you're going to a library or a coffee shop to study, you can leave the phone at home for that day. Tip number 5 is take breaks. I hope it's tip number 5. It's hard to keep up a high level of productivity for an extended periods of time. I think a good analogy is you can't run at full speed 100% of the time, and I think the same thing can be said about productivity. So taking a break is essential. One time management technique that applies to the idea is the Pomodoro technique. The concept is pretty simple, so first you make a list of tasks that need to be done, like I mentioned before, and then you set a timer, and the timers are typically 25 minutes long for that work period, and you're supposed to be only working on your task for that 25 minutes. So when the timer rings, you can take a 3 to 5 minute break, and after going through more than 4 cycles or 4 Pomodoros, you're supposed to take a longer break between 15 to 30 minutes. You guys should definitely try it if you haven't already. It's a very effective but simple technique in helping maintain focus, especially if there's a lot of things to be done. I'm going to put a link down below in the description box if you guys want to learn more about the Pomodoro technique. My next tip on increasing productivity is to exercise. There are several studies that show that exercising regularly can improve concentration and memory, increase mental stamina, help with creativity, and also help to lower stress. If you find yourself really struggling to stay focused even after you did all the right things like planning, taking breaks, going to the perfect study environment, maybe it's time to do something physically active for 30 minutes or so. Go for a run or biking or go lift something heavy. Give your head a complete break from all the work that you need to do and come back to it with a fresh mindset. So we all know that exercise is good for you and it can refresh your mind, blah, blah, blah. But what if you don't actually like exercising? A common question people ask me is how to get into the habit of exercising. If you're new to the whole fitness thing, I think a good place to start is by temptation bundling. Temptation bundling is a term coined by Catherine Milkman, who is a professor at UPenn. The idea is to pair something you like doing with something you don't like to do. So for example, watching TV while exercising. So if you have that TV show that you've been saving to watch after all your work is done, you can do it while walking or running on a treadmill. You can also try listening to your favorite podcast or audiobook or checking out some new music while lifting. Whatever it may be, try to give yourself something to look forward to while working out. My last tip for being productive is perseverance and self-control. Even with all the tips that I just talked about, there's just no substitution for working hard. Sometimes you need to stop worrying about not wanting to do something or not being productive and just do. Don't think about anything, don't give time to your worries and distractions, and just start. Read that first paragraph, start the essay outline, and do that first question. And with everything in life, it gets easier the more you do it. So that's all the tips I have for increasing productivity. I hope you guys have found it helpful. Please share your favorite productivity tip in the comment section for everyone to read. Give this video a thumbs up and click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!